show for you today, guys. Rogan versus Trump just took an unexpected twist. Rogan literally just changed America. It's getting absolutely insane. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into how Rogan called MAGA dorks. We're going to get into how Trump changed the United States of America policy because of Joe Rogan. We're going to get into UFC and MMA reporters going in on Rogan. They're turning their back on Rogan. We're going to get into the UFC White House card and what all of this means to that. Man, we're gonna get in, and I said I wasn't gonna talk about it, but we're gonna talk about Brendan Schaub and Ronda Rousey. I'm not gonna actually make a whole video about that, but we're gonna bring that up a little bit. But yeah, today's big story is Rogan versus Trump just took a turn. My name is King David MMA. I'm a professional MMA champion and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. So shout out to everybody who subscribes to the channel. I'm gonna check the chat right now, see who's popping on. Make sure you got the notifications on because we go live at random times. And today we're going early, guys. So we got Hamza in the chat. Uncle Fester, Dana. Dang, bro, you don't like Dana? Dang, dude. Dang, man. Dana's been super cool to me. I've met him a few times. So shout out to Uncle Dana. I feel differently about the guy, bro. But yeah, Hamza has a MMA history channel from what he tells me. So peep that if you want to get into that. Also, guys, make sure you check out Fight Circus, home of the freak show fights. And also make sure you send your coach to Studio Millions. Studio Millions will pack their gym and your coach will love you and thank you for it. So with that being said, shout out to everybody that's already hopped in the chat. I absolutely love when you guys start chatting. I see people popping on the stream right now. And we got our first chatter. So you know what I'm saying? Let's get it. All right, guys. Rogan versus Trump. So if you guys have been paying attention to the Rogan versus Trump drama, there's a lot going on in the MMA community right now where Joe Rogan called MAGA dorks. Okay. And because a lot of the MMA reporters lean in the other direction than what they allege Joe Rogan to lean in, which I feel like Joe Rogan's like a centrist liberal. But they call him an extreme right wing dude. They started banging on him, saying that Joe Rogan doesn't understand his base and he's insulting his own followers and all kinds of stuff. Well, it turns out Trump felt differently. So Joe Rogan sends a text to Donald Trump. And it's like, hey, Donald Trump, all these people have drug addictions in America. There's all this narcotic dependency going on. Here's some studies on ibogaine that in the first dose of ibogaine, which is like a psychedelic from Africa, it's a root. And in the first dose, it cures about 80% of the people who have used it, their drug addiction. And in 2 doses, it cures nearly 90%. Trump hits Joe Rogan back and says, you want FDA approval on this? Let's go. Like that. Right now, Joe Rogan today was in the White House announcing this. He said that story, and then Trump came back and said, oh, well, it wasn't that fast, bro. Like I ran it by people. So literally, Joe Rogan just got the United States government policy to change because Trump signed in that psychedelics can now be used as medicine to treat narcotic dependency. Like a couple days ago, everybody said that Joe Rogan was abandoning Trump. Everybody said that Joe Rogan was abandoning his own base because his base is MAGA, right? Even though Joe is like center, you know, and people don't even understand what MAGA means. It doesn't mean Trump necessarily. It means America, right? So there's like all this crazy division and people banging on each other. And Joe Rogan is now in the White House after calling Trump supporters dorks. And to be clear, he said that there was a lot of other people who were cool patriots that were also in MAGA. He didn't just say it was dorks. But you know how people like to clickbait. So then one of the dudes that clickbaited it, his name was Luke Thomas. We're going to get into him in a second because he's got beef with Paramount because Paramount signed the UFC deal because Trump allegedly brokered the deal between Dana White. It's getting all kinds of drama and messy, but we're going to get into all of that. Speaking of Ibogaine, so Ibogaine, from what you can read online, says that it is very good at helping people get off chemical dependence. So if someone has a drug abuse situation and they need to get off or they want to get off, then Ibogaine has a high likelihood of getting them off. And my buddy Mark the Shark is out. Mark the Shark Ehrman, he's a bare knuckle champion. He is out in California and they are helping change people's lives with this, right? So he is a big proponent of this, and now it is going to be legal across America. And so I looked up the Ibogaine side effects, and Ibogaine side effects are like irregular heart issues, right? So it has some effects on some people's hearts, and it also has um, like seizures and motor imbalances. And it should not be used with any other drugs. That's what the internet says, right? So there are some side effects, but if it can help people and people don't have pre-existing conditions, then this could be a very, very good thing for a lot of people that are dealing with substance abuse or have loved ones who are dealing with substance abuse. And most of us have, right? Like I know for a fact that um, pretty much everybody I talk to has had some issue with someone in their family having substance abuse. Both my parents had issues with substance abuse. My father died of a drug overdose, and my mother was, on drugs for a large portion of her life. And eventually she was able to get sober, and that was a really happy moment for the family. And she kept her sobriety, and we were super proud of her. So, it's affected my life. Maybe this is what my family would have went to, and it could have helped a lot of things. Maybe I'd sound my father if Ibogaine was around back then. Hindsight is 2020. You never know. But I had never even heard of this until like a year ago. And yeah, man, it's kind of crazy that somebody might be out there and they get to keep their father because of this treatment. And this could be a real, real huge blessing. So, as much fun as it is to talk about the drama of it all, oh my gosh, Rogan, and I do a little clickbaity headlines myself sometimes. You know what I mean? Rogan versus Trump. He did call, MAGA dorks, but hopefully, man, this saves people's lives. And like real families can stay together, and like this could be life-changing for people. So while this good news is going on, we've got Luke Thomas banging on Joe Rogan, and Luke is saying that Rogan was alienating his base, but he also is very critical of the Paramount deal, saying that the Paramount deal is to get political favors for it's like a political. So okay, so Paramount Plus has done a 1.1 billion dollar deal with the UFC for 7 years. So the deal comes out to about 7.7 billion. Now, Luke Thomas is critical of the deal because Dana White is friends with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump brokered this deal. The deal was going to go to Netflix, and then they were going to piece off some other parts of it, maybe to ESPN. Paramount got essentially the whole thing. And now this is essentially being looked at by Luke Thomas as a way of political influence to gain favor with Donald Trump and the administration for the people who own Paramount, which is Larry Ellison and David Ellison, his son, as I understand it. I could be wrong on those names, right? Like, do your own research. But as far as my understanding of it goes, that's who owns it, and Luke is accusing them of purchasing this or purchasing the rights to the UFC for this amount of money to get political influence. He says there's no way that Paramount is going to make that back with streaming, right? And you're like, if you're just watching this from like an outside observer, you're like, well, that makes sense. How are they going to make $7 billion back from streaming? Because that many people are not going to sign up to justify that many individuals will not sign up just for the UFC, right? What Luke may not understand is that because of this deal, now Paramount is more attractive and they may be purchased or they may be bringing on or they may be partnering with other people, which will take them from what I understand, around 60 million households. They're going to add another 200 million households soon. And part of it was because they made this deal. So, because they're doing big things, they're now attracting big things. And that's the part that a lot of people don't get, like, especially critics. I see people online criticizing uh, when Elon Musk purchased Twitter. Oh, he's a fool. He made a bad business deal. Dude, listen, if all Elon did was talk about Tesla on Twitter, he's going to make his 40 billion back because he's got other businesses. So the same way that Paramount isn't just a streaming platform that's looking at individuals signing up, while that's one part of their business, now they're going to be able to expand into other markets and have way more people because of this deal, attracting partners and attracting new revenue streams to them. So Luke doesn't understand that, and he's looking at surface value. He's not looking at potential. He's not looking at the future. He's not looking at what's possible now that this is in place. So, anyways, that's my business take on the whole situation, is that because Paramount made a big play, now they can make even bigger plays because now they're in play, right? So nobody's a billionaire. Grant Cardone told me this, right? I met Grant Cardone in Miami. He shouted me out to Dana, right? Like, shout out to Grant Cardone, Uncle G. And he told me, nobody is going to flow you, meaning cash flow. Nobody's going to flow you if nobody knows you. And now Paramount has put themselves out as being a big player in the game by doing a $7 billion deal. So now the big players in the game are doing deals with them. If that, like, you get what I'm saying? So let me read the chat real quick. Luke Thomas is beta. Oh, wow. Yeah. I find Luke Thomas to be in a lot of, like, scarcity and hater mentality. I like to expand. I like to build. I like to lift other people up. He seems to be more of a destructive, like, tear people down type vibe. I could be wrong. He was always cool to me when I met him in person, but it just seems like he's on this, like, I want. Here's what I want. I want what's good for America. Like, if Trump's good for America, good. If somebody else is good for America, good. I don't want Trump to fail. I didn't want Biden to fail. I wanted all the people who are in charge of making decisions to do good things for America, right? It looks like Luke Thomas, in a lot of ways, and this could be totally misreading the situation, he wants Trump to fail, even if it means, like, bad for America. And if, like, you logically asked him that, he would probably come to a conclusion that it's good for America if Trump is successful, uh, as long as Trump is doing good things for America. But you know, before he thinks that through, he probably wants to see Trump fail to some extent, which could be bad for America. I can't wait for next week's Oscar clapback Thursday. Yeah, man, you tagged me in that. I think that was on Instagram, right? And I made a video about that because I didn't see Oscar clapping back at Dana. I'd seen Dana calling Oscar a crossdresser. You know what I mean? Which is accurate. There's photo evidence of it, but Dana's saying it like it's an insult. And I think Oscar's cross-dressing like it's a vibe, right? So one man's trash is another man's treasure. If Oscar's enjoying himself, well, I guess good for him. I don't know. But yeah, so Oscar's clapping back on Dana, saying stuff like, "You still bringing up the cross dressing? You should be on streams on StreamYard so you can uh join in sometimes in the free." Dude, I'm looking at OBS right now. I'm learning OBS. So I'll be a little bit more professional with the stream soon. Sober is cool. Yeah, I agree. Uh, I'm high on life. Fuck drugs. I'm flying on kites. That's a that's an Eminem bar, and I'm not an Eminem fan, by the way. I think that Eminem is highly. I don't like his raps. Me and Felony argue about it all the time. Felony's Eminem fan, and as a white person, I'm supposed to like Eminem, but unfortunately, I'm like, dude, I don't resonate with that dude at all. And it's good that he's got an audience and he's making money or whatever he's doing his thing. I feel like he's a bit too a little dude's a little negative for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like a vibey guy, right? I'm a vibey cat. You know what I'm saying? I'm just out here. I might be the most positive person I know. It's like kind of wild. Paramount bought HBO, so they have more users now. Yeah, so Paramount is trying to be a major player. So that's the thing that dude's not understanding, right? Like they're trying to make real moves. They're not trying to sit around. How how could they possibly purchase something like HBO and then not give more to the viewers. Like if they're going to be competing with, let's say, Netflix, right? They purchase HBO, they got Paramount, they're trying to consolidate, they're trying to build an empire. Well, then they need content. And what's the biggest form of content out right now? Live sports. That's what people are watching, live sports. So I think that they maybe maybe, call me crazy, maybe they have $7 billion to invest because they know a thing or two and they're making smart business decisions. But I could be crazy, right? Maybe I should listen to the dude who is a MMA critic. Maybe I should listen to him about what Paramount should do with their billions of dollars, right? It doesn't even make sense, guys. Sober is cool. Paramount, okay. Paramount now has Vice. Oh, they have Vice TV, Nickelodeon, CNN, Cartoon Network, Vice Sports, and HBO. Yeah, they're making freaking plays. They bought a lot of Warner Brothers stuff, Paramount. By June, everything, yeah. So you're saying by June, everything will shift to Paramount Plus. And that's the play that Paramount's trying to make, guys. They're trying to be the big dog, right? They're not trying to be second fiddle. They're not trying to be number two to Netflix. They're not trying to be I'm in the top five behind Netflix and Hulu. And what's the other one? Pluto. You know what I mean? Or whatever it's called. They're not trying to do that. Right. And speaking of all this intermingling, because I'm like a non-political guy. Right. I really try not to talk about politics. I really try not to. Uh because like the way I view it is this, right? First things first, there's my spiritual connection, right? I believe we're mind, body, and soul, right? Spirit, brain, and physicality. So I try and take care of my spiritual connection first, then my mind and my body, and that's me, right? And then from there outward, next thing is my household and the direct people around me, my family, my friends. Then from there, expand out and like my local community, like, and then and expand and expand and expand. And sometimes with this politics stuff, like there's people that aren't even taking care of themselves. They're not taking care of their spirituality. They're not taking care of their mental state. They're not taking care of their physicality, right? And then they're over here saying what should happen overseas and do. Well, it's like, bro, like handle the battle within, like handle the vibe within before we worry about that, right? Like, so that's how I look at it. Maybe I'm nuts, but I'm like the happiest person I know, so it's all good. But yeah, so I don't like to get super political, but there is intermingling right now of politics and UFC, MMA, right? So it's like it's entering into our world, and we need to discuss it sometimes because Joe Rogan being at the White House is a big win for MMA, right? Like Kobe Covington bringing the belt when he was the interim champ to the White House is a big win for MMA. The UFC being at the White House is a big win for MMA. The freaking Netflix card is a big win, right? Like these are all big wins. We're winning, guys. MMA is growing, UFC is growing. There's competitors coming out. This is all good news for the martial arts community. Let me read the chat, and then we're gonna get in the White House card because the White House card has some stuff going on with it, right? Okay. Paramount, they bought Warner Brothers by June. So Luke is wrong. Paramount is number two. Pluto TV is part of the Paramount network. Yeah, yeah, okay. When UFC channel was added to Pluto TV I knew UFC is heading towards Paramount. They are in talks of buying UFC Fight Pass as well. And then I see no, it's not. I don't know what no, it's not is, but yeah, man. So yeah, bro, I appreciate you dropping knowledge in the chat, man. So I had a feeling about all this, right? And now you guys can see that this is actually what they're doing, right? They're consolidating, they're getting market share, they're coming for Netflix, guys. So yeah, speaking of the White House card, the White House card has the what I believe, and this is a hot take, people disagree with me. Brendan Schaub disagrees with me on this, and I disagree with him on the next subject we're going to get into after this. But I disagree with Brendan Schaub on this because Brendan Schaub says that Hokit is going to fight at the White House, and then he needs another fight, and then he'll get a title shot if he wins. And I'm saying Hokit is going to leapfrog the competition. Hokit, if he beats Derek Lewis at the White House, he's going to go directly into calling out Alex Pereira, who should beat Cyril Gahn. And he's going to get himself a title shot because he's the most interesting and the most exciting person in the heavyweight division. Between him and Pereira, now you have two stars. It's going to get crazy, right? And I feel like Schaub is off on that, guys. And I've committed to not making Brendan Schaub videos as my main news story because I like Brendan Schaub. I think the dude's like a super positive guy from what I can see. And we also have a mutual friend, Jesse on Fire. And I just realized that when I make Brendan Schaub videos, those get the most views out of anything. It's the craziest thing ever. And I don't want to do like a Schaub reaction channel. So I'm trying to find other lanes that you guys resonate with it that I like to talk about as well that have different subjects as the main story of the day. Okay, so that's why we're doing Rogan versus Trump right now, because I want to see if that resonates with you guys and see what the view count is on that. That way I can give you guys what you want while still enjoying what I'm speaking about, right? So I want to find that Venn diagram of relevance and enjoyment, and then the section that meets in the middle is what the channel will be, right? Because we're building this thing together, guys. I'm going in the chat, I'm reading the chat, I respond to every freaking comment. So guys, if you're watching this after the live, if you're watching this on replay, hit the comments, because I literally go through like twice a week and I go through every freaking comment, and I can only do that for a limited time because as the channel grows, the comments come in, and then I can't. But if you want to get like somebody to do direct feedback with you right now, I'm trying to connect. I'm in the fucking comments, I'm in the chat. Let me read the chat. Speaking of which, user SYKD, flame emoji, flame emoji, flame emoji. Hey, I appreciate the flame emojis. See, this is where it gets weird, right? Because if you're a dude and you hit me with flame emojis, I hope it's for the content. And if you're a chick, I got a girlfriend. She's amazing. She's a genius. She's the best person on the planet. And I just love her. You know what I mean? So I don't know how to take the flame emojis. I don't even know what to process them. But thank you. Appreciate you. Right? Hokit and his brother Isaiah used to train in Vegas. Also, Curtis Blades tested positive after that. That's why his chin saved him. Did he test positive? Did he test positive? Dewey Cooper told him to go to Albuquerque and go to Jackson Wink. Wow. Did Dewey Cooper say that, man? That's kind of wild. That's wild. That's wild. Because Dewey Cooper holds for Francis, and Francis trains at the gym that I teach at, which is Extreme Couture. So Dewey Cooper is telling him to defect. Man, Dewey Cooper, bro. Tell people to go to Extreme. Let's run it up, bro. You guys are wondering what this is. This is a yerba. So this one is peach lemonade. This has 0 calories. It's got 160 milligrams of caffeine. I believe it's organic, vegan, kosher, all that. I don't really care if it's vegan. If they had caffeinated like raw milk, I would drink that. Because listen, guys, me, big fan of raw dairy. Big fan of raw dairy. For a while, I was on an all meat diet. You know, like I was eating meat, and the only thing I was eating on the meat was like honey. You know what I'm saying? Like getting real carnivorous with it. So yeah, all animal product diet. That was pretty fun. Dude, I felt like I could walk through a floor. I might get back on that, man. But carbs can be fun, guys. Carbs can be fun. So anyways, this is where am I at? Let's count it up. 450 plus another 20 is 470. I'm at like 504 milligrams of caffeine today. And the day is young, guys. I'm getting out ahead of it. I'm getting out. It's 3:42 p.m. here, and I'm already at 500 milligrams. That's that's the level we're operating on, guys. I don't trust nerds. Not that I don't trust them. Okay. I don't listen to nerds. I don't listen to nerds. And you know who tells you not to drink a lot of caffeine? Nerds. Okay. So every badass I know is highly caffeinated. Andrew Tate's on like 1,000 milligrams. His brother Tristan's on like 1,000. Those dudes are drinking like, I don't know, a dozen cups of coffee a day or whatever, 20 cups of coffee. Uh, my, one of my fitness role models, Brandon Carter, King Keto, he's on 800 to 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day. That's how he and I originally started following each other. Was we bonded over caffeine in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? And we're just out here, right? Highly caffeinated. In fact, when I met Rob Dyrdek, if you guys remember MTV Fantasy Factory, for the old school cats on here, Rob Dyrdek, before he was running it up with ridiculousness, and that's all MTV played, which they just canceled ridiculousness. That's the end of an era. But when I met Rob at Fantasy Factory, he told me, he said, if it wasn't for caffeine, he wouldn't be a millionaire. And I said, okay, noted. Right. So one thing about me, I'm highly coachable. So if I meet somebody and they give me a tiny piece of game, that's all I need. Grant Cardone told me to get attention. I went out and got 1.5 million views a month on Instagram. Rob Dyrdek said, hey, bro, try caffeine. So I'm on caffeine now, guys. You get what I'm saying? It's like, what is your speed to implementation, right? The pro MMA championship at 44 years old doesn't just show up, guys. We got to implement. The Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt doesn't show up. We got to hit those classes. We got to be consistent, right? How are we consistent? Like, what processes are in place? How is it that I went from 242 pounds to weighing in at 150 pounds? How did I go from being a broke, homeless, destitute loser living on my friend's dog hair covered couch in the back of his mom's house, his pit bull Penelope I shared a couch with, and we didn't even have air conditioning in the Las Vegas summer? How did I go from that to being retweeted by Andrew Tate, being followed by billionaires, to having Dana White follow me, to being a pro MMA champion? You know what I'm saying? To having a dime piece genius girlfriend. Like, how is all that possible? Maybe success leaves clues. And one of the clues is speed to implementation and how coachable you are. Let's get back to the chat, guys. Raw milk is great for you. Where's Felony? Felony is in the bedroom right now. I think he's chilling. I remember. What does Rob Dyrdek do now? Rob Dyrdek has a podcast the last time I saw, and he's also investing in companies. So one of his biggest products right now is he is an investor in a shower head filtration system, because a lot of people have filtration for their like your sink, so you can get, like, let's say reverse osmosis water for your sink, and you just fill it up and you drink it, right? Because you don't want to drink just straight tap water with all the contaminants in it. And then you go in the shower and your largest organ, your skin, is covered in and soaking up contaminated water that you wouldn't drink, and it's messing up chicks' hair, it's messing up people's skin, and it's this huge industry that's like wide open. And so Rob invested in that, and that's one of the biggest and best investments he's ever made in his life, is what he said. And so, shower head filtration, guys. Did you guys even know that that's a niche? You like, I'm sure the ladies in the chat, which I actually I looked at my demographics. I have statistically, I know there's girls that are in the chat because my girlfriend pops onto the chat sometimes, and then some of the girls from the gym do, like my training partners, the little homies and stuff like that. But statistically, for my viewers, I have 100% male audience. That's kind of wild, right? That's kind of wild. You would think with the jawline it'd be like 50-50, but it's not. And that's probably a good thing, guys. Because I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't need women in the chat saying crazy stuff. Like, this is another thing, right? How much distraction do you want in your life? I know dudes that have relationships with women and they're out here peeping other women. It's like, dude, bro, take all that attention and focus in on your chick, and you'll have a better relationship. And if your chick's not taking all her attention and focusing on you, well, then maybe that's something to discuss, and maybe you guys should part ways. But if you guys take all that attention and focus in on each other, good things are probably going to happen, right? So that's my relationship advice of the day. And let me take another sip of this. Zevia. So the other thing that me and Brendan Schaub disagree about, you like that transition? Right. So Ronda Rousey went scorched earth on Kayla. I made a video about it like 2-3 days ago. And Ronda called her a bitch. She called her all kinds of things. Kayla said, "Fight me, Dan," with the little emoji, sunglasses emoji on Twitter. And Ronda, in her press conference, said that this is the biggest fight in MMA history. Now, Schaub disagrees. And Schaub used to date Ronda, right? So he's a big Ronda supporter in terms of her martial arts ability, but he disagrees that this is the biggest fight. He said it's going to be the most viewed fight, which would it make it? Isn't that the biggest? Right. So that's my contention. Because when I was listening to Schaub say this, I'm like, bro, like, what to you is the biggest? What does it mean? Right. And then he goes, well, if Hamzat and Strickland were on Netflix, that would be the biggest fight. It's like, yeah, but that fight's not on Netflix. You get what I'm saying? That fight's not on Netflix. So Ronda's point is this. Ronda's saying, I get the MMA critics are talking about my fight, me and Gina. And the MMA critics have their points. They're saying that this isn't the most up to date, top of the food chain fight in the history of fighting. They're not trying to appeal to the MMA reporters and the MMA critics. Ronda says they're trying to appeal to the 600 million other people that are not MMA reporters. You know what I'm saying? Like the widespread audience beyond casuals. Like not even casual fans, like non-fans, like people that don't even know what MMA is. She's appealing to them. So Ronda, who is a former movie star, actress, she did some stuff, right? Like Gina certainly is a movie star at some point, right? She was in fucking Deadpool. She was on Star Wars. She was, or let's call them actresses. Okay, that'll be an easier term because I don't know. Actually, Ronda's not a movie star. She was supposed to be in a movie, and then they, well, okay, I get it. I get it. But Ronda did WWE, which is acting. Gina has done several acting gigs. A lot of people know her as an actress, not as a MMA fighter, because she's done so well in acting. And two, let's call them Hollywood celebrity actresses are fighting. That's going to bring in more eyeballs. How is this not the biggest fight in MMA history? Like what is Brendan Schaub talking about, guys? So that's where I disagree with him on that, And I think Ronda had a very good point. Let me read the chat real quick. Gina is now averaging 500,000 likes because of Netflix fight. They're getting a lot of engagement. MVP has their average likes at 300,000 plus. Yeah, dude. It's the biggest fight, going to be the most viewed. Yeah, I don't see how it's not the biggest fight. Like, who could make the argument it's not the biggest fight? It's on the biggest platform. I would guess it might be for the most money in MMA history. Like, has anybody got paid more than them ever? People will say Connor maybe, right? But like he got paid to go box. That was his biggest payday. So is this the like on what metric are we going by saying it's not the biggest fight? It's gonna be the biggest fight. Like it's the most viewed, the most people talking about it. Two biggest stars, right? O'Connor's a bigger star. Is he still gonna be a bigger star? Because him and Ronda were close when Ronda was in the UFC, and now Ronda has gone to another platform. She's fighting Gina. Gina's like an international celebrity. That's the other part that people aren't understanding. People have a tendency to do this, like filter it through their own biases, right? So, like we were talking about Luke Thomas, he's got a bias of his political leanings and his association of MMA and his thoughts, and so he's saying this about Rogan or whatever, right? And then somebody else is saying this about Ronda, and like Shab has his own bias, right? But like when you really think about it, internationally, these women are famous. It's not just America, it's not just MMA. They've transcended past the sport, and now they're coming back and bringing all of that attention, all of those eyeballs to the sport. This is absolutely the biggest fight, and I'm not even like a super fan of fucking women's sports. You know what I mean? I thought that what was that? Alexa Grasso knockout was fucking gnarly a couple weeks back. Shout out to that chick. That was brutal when she knocked out, who was that? Macy Barber. Put her out and then choked her. And then, bro, that was shocking, jarring, impressive, you know. But in terms of like the WNBA, bro, you couldn't, I don't even give a fuck, bro. Like, who cares? So this is me being like not a white knight. This is not a virtue signal. This isn't any of that. I'm not even a fan of women's sports in general. Like how some people are, oh, women's sports. We need like, dude, I think people should go by merit, right? And if women get more views in a sport, they should get more money. And if men get more views in a sport, they should get more money. And Ronda is going to get the most views of any martial arts event in human history. Unless you go boxing and martial art, then Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson will probably be number one. Okay, let me read the chat. The guys at the bottom of the first four fights will earn a minimum of 40K after taxes plus sponsors. So is it 40K and 40K, 40 to fight, 40 to win, or are they paying them 40 flat? Because I heard it's 40 flat. And I didn't hear it was 40 flat. I heard it was they're getting a flat fee, not a fight and a win. And then I heard 40 at a different point in time. And then that's essentially putting those two pieces of information together leads it to be 40 flat, or is it 40 and 40? Lots of sponsors are jumping on because the card is on Netflix. Gina is even more popular than Ronda. Don't look at social media followers. If you go to China, Nigeria, Morocco, they all know Gina. Yeah, so my girlfriend is an absolute dime piece, right? She's won like world international beauty pageants in China and stuff. Okay. Like her American socials versus her Chinese socials, dude, she's she's getting, I don't know what how I, I don't know, she got 16 million views on a single video on her Chinese TikTok or whatever. It's like there's a whole world out there that like Americans sometimes don't know exists. And I believe what you're saying is accurate, that Gina is an international star. There's a whole world out there of people who will watch this if they have access to Netflix, which a lot of the world does. So this is absolutely the biggest MMA fight in history. And who would have thought it would be Ronda Rousey? Who would have thought it would be a woman? Who would have thought it would have been Gina Carano, who was out here doing Star Wars and then they canceled her ass and now she's back and she's going to have a bigger platform than ever. She's going to be more famous than ever. Listen, you can't keep good people down, man. And winners win, right? Winners win. And these two ladies are winners and they're going to win and this is going to be the biggest fight and everybody in MMA has to accept that the biggest fight in MMA sports history is two chicks, two women, right? And guess what? If they can draw the numbers, if they can build the card, if they're the headline that Netflix wants, then that's good. That's a good thing for all of us. We don't hate because it's women, but we don't also give it to women just because they're women. You get what I'm saying? I'm a very merit-based dude, right? So, anyways, that's what's going on in the MMA world. Ronda uh has the fucking best point ever that this is going to be the biggest fight ever. Shab's wrong about that. You know, I also think Shab's wrong about Hokit. I think Hokit's going to get a title shot. I could be wrong. We'll see. I believe Hokit will beat Derek Lewis and call out Pereira, and that's that. Luke Thomas doesn't understand Paramount or their business plan. He also was hating on Rogan for calling MAGA dorks. And look at Rogan now, a few days later. A few days later, he's in the White House, essentially setting American policy. And, Trump is doing something that's going to help Americans, whether you like the dude or not. If this helps people, you can be critical on this subject, critical on that subject. But if this particular thing helps people get off drugs in America, and helps people overcome addiction, then that's a net positive. And no matter who the president is, we want the people to win. So, on that note, I love you guys. Thank you to everybody who participated in the chat. If you are watching this after we put this on the replay, then make sure you drop a comment because I respond to all comments while I still can. And make sure you turn on notifications, bang the bell, set it to all because some people are missing notifications. So make sure you're subscribed and have all your notifications on for this channel. That way you know when I'm going live at all times because it's very random right now. So anyways, I love you guys. I'll holler at you tomorrow. I'm going to hop off this. I'm going to get on OBS. I'm going to learn how to use that software. Then we're going to be dropping videos in addition to the lives. We're going to have the lives looking professional. It's all the way up from here, guys. I love